What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Color Nation Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle today. And today's opponent is Black Leaf. He's actually a pretty cool guy. I talked to him a few times. I think he makes some videos here on YouTube. So I will put that in the description below so you guys can check him out if you want to. I'm pretty sure he's doing a White 2 Nuzlocke series right now. So that's pretty awesome. Definitely go check him out and see what he's all about. Show him some support. All that good stuff. Now, as for the battle here, I'm bringing my Hazard team. This team has to be annoying as hell to face, I would imagine. And on Black Leaf's side, it looks like his only possible Mega Evolution is going to be that Tyranitar. And then it looks like he's got a bulky Porygon 2, Metagross, which tends to run bulkier sets now, and his mascot, which is Nidoking. So, should be a good battle. So let's just get right into it. I'm ready. I'm going to lead off with my Smeargle as I usually do. He's going to lead off with his Togekiss, which is cool. And I'm like, oh crap, this thing probably has Defog, so let's just put that thing to sleep. And I'm going to set up Hazards anyway, because why the hell not? There's only one way to find out if he does actually have Defog or not. So, going to put him to sleep with Spore, and I'll go right for the Stealth Rock next turn while he stays asleep. Just snoozing away. And now I'm going to go for my Sticky Web. And I was debating whether or not to go for a Magic Coat the turn after this. I mean, there's nothing else that Smeargle can do. Just in case, I don't know, it had Thunder Wave, but the more I thought about it, I was like, that's dumb. Togekiss would never go for a Thunder Wave on Smeargle. That's just retarded. So, I'm going to switch out to Arcanine, expecting maybe a Dazzling Gleam. I wasn't sure if this thing had Aura Sphere or not, but it turns out that it does have Aura Sphere, so that's cool, I guess. So, goes for the Aura Sphere, and I take that pretty nicely. Not too bad at all. I'll go for the Flare Blitz. That's really the only thing I can do to this Togekiss. I do have Extreme Speed, but I wanted to do as much damage as possible. And with the Life Orb recoil, that kind of brings me down into KO range there. So, it's going to go for an Air Slash, and instead of switching out, I'm going to let my Arcanine take that, unfortunately. And Arcanine goes down. So that was kind of a just not so good thing for me, because I probably shouldn't have let Arcanine die that fast, but I wanted to get a safe switch, so I'm going to do that into my beautiful shiny Greninja, and I need to start nicknaming my Pokemon. None of my Pokemon have nicknames. I don't know. Okay, just thinking out loud here. So, he's expecting an Ice Beam coming, so he's going to switch into his Meta Boss, which is an awesome name for a Metagross, and he's going to take that Ice Beam very nicely, so that was a good prediction on his part. I do get the crit, and he still takes it pretty nicely, so not bad at all. I could go for the Dark Pulse, but I'm almost positive that's not going to kill, even with having Expert Belt. So I'm going to switch out to Skarmory here, and it turns out that this is a bulky dual screen Metagross. So I may have been able to kill it with 2 Dark Pulses, now that I think about it, because the first one would not have been protected by Light Screen, so oh well. I guess that doesn't matter now, but that's not really the whole point of my team anyway, so yeah, he's going to switch out his Metagross here as I bring in my Skarmory, and you know, I'm just going for spikes and stuff. So he's going to bring in his Black Leaf, the Nidoking, and he's going to get hit with some Hazards. Nidoking doesn't mind that too much. He minds spikes more than Stealth Rock because of his typing, so I guess not too bad either way. So I'm going to set up some more spikes here. And as he switches in, and I'm going to have to switch out now because I'm pretty sure Fire Blast or something is going to be coming. So he actually goes for the Thunderbolt, probably predicting that I'd switch back into Greninja to take the Fire Blast, but I don't do that. I switch back into Smeargle since I don't need Smeargle anymore. I'm pretty sure that Togekiss does not have Defog, or it would have used it already, so I'm not really worried about losing Smeargle at this point. Now he's going to go into his Tyranitar. And I'm like, crap, this thing is almost certainly Mega Tyranitar. And, yeah, so he gets the Sandstorm up, and I'm like, okay, let's put this thing right to sleep. Not even messing around. So, I go for the Spore, and, yeah, he goes to sleep. So, the Sandstream actually knocks out Smeargle, which is good for me, because now I get a safe switch without having to use a turn, and, you know, risking Tyranitar waking up or anything. So I'm going to go into my Dragonite now, and he's going to switch out and keep his Tyranitar asleep. He's going to switch into Porygon 2, and I'm guessing that he's thinking I'm going to go for an Ice Beam here, and this is probably an offensive Dragonite, because most Dragonites are, but this is not an offensive Dragonite at all. So he's going to get the attack boost because this is a specially defensive set. So first thing I'm going to do is go for a substitute. And unfortunately I get hit with the Sandstorm there, but so does his team. So it's not too bad either way. I wasn't really worried about the weather, as you can tell. Okay, so now I have my substitute up. His Reflect wears off, so now he doesn't have any screens up at all. He's going to go for the Ice Beam, which is kind of predictable. And yeah, that's going to, for sure, break my sub. Dragonite cannot take that. So, but I do get a Dragon Tail off because of that. And it does not really that much damage, but the key thing here is the hazards. And that's the point of the Dragon Tail, to just continually shuffle this team around and make him, eat hazards over and over and over again. And then I'll be able to bring in Gengar and Greninja afterwards to clean up the mess. So the problem here is that I need to keep Dragonite alive for that. So that means getting rid of this Tyranitar, because if he has Stone Edge, that could be a big problem. So he is going to Mega Evolve here, but he's asleep. So he needs to hope that he wakes up soon. So yeah, out comes the Mega T-Tar. And I'm going to go for the substitute because, he's still sleeping. So I might as well get that up while I can here. And yeah, he stays asleep. I don't even know if he's been asleep for 2 turns yet, because he switched out right away. So Sandstorm is still damaging me, which kind of sucks. It's pretty much just negating the whole leftovers thing. And he's going to be faster than me, but asleep. So that still sucks for him. But I'm going to go for a Dragon Tail. I'm not going to mess around. I do not want to take a Stone Edge. And with the hazards and the crit there, Tyranitar can't switch back in. Not with the spikes up. So I'm going to bring out his Getsis. Again, another awesome nickname for Cofagrigus. So he takes those hazards kind of sort of okay, but the problem with Cofagrigus is that it doesn't have reliable recovery other than Pain Split, and that, I don't know, I wouldn't really call that reliable, so having this thing shuffled around is not going to be good for it. I'm also going to go for the Thunder Wave here, and the good news is, he's paralyzed, but I can't get hit with a Will-O-Wisp behind substitute, so he's going to go for the Trick Room instead. That's an interesting move for this team. It's pretty typical for Cofagrigus to run Trick Room, but looking at the rest of his team, I'm like, that's kind of strange, but cool nonetheless, because, I guess his Metagross can, benefit from that too, so that's cool. Good choice. I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail after he goes for a Shadow Ball there and breaks my sub. And yeah, I forgot about the whole Mummy thing. I was not even thinking about that when I went for the Dragon Tail, but I probably would have still done the same thing in retrospect. So I now have the Mummy ability, which sucks because multi-scale is awesome, and I would have to switch out now. But I guess I could, because this Metagross is a very bulky dual screener type of shit, so it's not like I should really be scared to switch out, but whatever. Alright, so he's going to go for a Meteor Mash here. And it doesn't, I don't know, I don't take that as well as I wanted to. But I do get rid of the Clear Body because of Mummy, which I guess could help. It would be more use to me if my Arcanine was alive, so I could come in and intimidate it. But there's not much I can do about that at all, so Dragonite is still just surviving somehow. He's been around forever, it feels like. So now I'm going to switch out because he will die on this turn. If I don't. So now he's going to go for the Meteor Mash again as I switch into my Skarmory, who has not seen any action yet. And yeah, he takes that pretty nicely. And the Skarmory doesn't really have that much in the way of physical investment. Or not physical investment, physical defensive investment. I can talk, I swear. But he still takes it pretty nicely. It's mostly a specially defensive Skarmory. I really want to switch that around, though, because it has an impish nature, so I feel like it should have more defensive investment instead of especially defensive investment. Oh well, I get my last layer spikes up and then go for the Roar, because I know this Metagross cannot do anything to me, and I can't really do anything to it with Brave Bird either, so I might as well just roar it out and have this Cofagrigus come back in. It's pretty much dead now with the hazards, and I should be able to kill it with a Brave Bird. He did get the Reflect up, so I'm kind of worried. especially because Kavagrigus has amazing physical defense, but I think just barely take it out. And that's awesome because I did not want to have to take a Will-O-Wisp at all, or have him get Trick Room up again. That would just suck. So now he's going to go into his Tyranitar. It doesn't really matter either way. If he went into Tyranitar or not, it's going to die because of the hazards. So this Tyranitar did not do a single thing this entire match. All it did was fall asleep and then just die to hazards, basically. So that was really good for me because Tyranitar could have just wrecked a good portion of my team had he actually gotten going, but he didn't get a chance to. So now we're going to bring Porygon 2 back into the battle here, and with hazards, this thing's almost dead too. And he's going to get a special attack boost because of download, but I'm like, whatever. With Sticky Web, he has no chance of surviving this Brave Bird because he has like almost no health left, so down he goes. And that's awesome too because Eviolite Porygon 2 is a beast defensively. And especially with Recover, it's just a pain in the ass to take down. So thankfully, hazards are its weak point there. So Togekiss is going to come back out and almost die to Stealth Rock, but not quite. And because of that, he's going to be able to get an R-Sphere off. He is faster than me. He's not affected by Sticky Web. So I take that pretty nicely, though, all things considered. And I activate my Citrus Berry there as well to get some health back because I don't have multiple leftovers. First of all, I don't really like stacking items to begin with. I don't know, I just have a thing against that. I try not to do it, but either way, I still don't have 2 leftovers to use regardless, so it doesn't matter. Togekiss goes down to the Brave Bird there, and Black Leaf is going to come back in. We haven't seen too much of this yet. I was in for a little bit earlier. But with the Sticky Web, you know, and the hazards, I'm just really not afraid of this thing too much. As far as my team goes. Skarmory, on the other hand, cannot afford to take a Fire Blast, so I'm going to switch into Dragonite. Again, he goes for the Thunderbolt, thinking maybe, you know, Greninja is going to come in, and even if Dragonite does, it's not that big of a deal because he can just kill him off. So, and that's exactly what happens. He ends up going for the Thunderbolt. I bring in Dragonite, fodder it off. That means I get a safe switch into Greninja, and I'm going to be able to Scald this thing, and yeah, he has no chance of surviving that either. So Nidoking's going to go down, and yeah, that was not his last Pokemon. He has one more. I forgot about this Meta Boss. So now it's just one-on-one Greninja and Meta Boss. Of course, I still have Skarmory waiting in the wings here, but I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, and I figured, you know what, this is the last Pokemon. I'm not that afraid of it. I've seen its moveset now, so go for the Dark Pulse, and it ends up killing him. So I probably could have done that earlier in the match and just not had to worry about Metagross at all, but I just wasn't sure what set it was running and did not want to make a bad mistake and have Greninja die because I already kind of wasted Arcanine earlier, so I was kind of trying to play it safe there, but nonetheless, it was a good battle. It was actually, you know, pretty close and back and forth and stuff, so awesome. We're going to have to battle again sometime, Blackleaf. At some point, I need to train some more pokes, and in the next battle, I'm going to try to use some of the newer ones that I've bred instead of using these same, like, 15 Pokemon that I have over and over and over again. We need some new faces, so I'm going to change it up. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to go check out Blackleaf and his channel, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Game on.